Okay, here we have a typical Astra ECU here that we'll actually need to saw around the perimeter of this unit in order to get access to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab my Dremel and just go around, just get rid of this glue. Okay, so now that we've sawed into the rosin, I'm not doing this to preserve the original plate. We're actually doing this to make it easier to open up. Grab a couple of screwdrivers as well. And I'm going to just jimmy in our screwdriver here and try and pry out. Now we're going to damage some of the castings here. But that's okay. Let's try and just wedge it up. Best we can. going to deform the metal. That's fine. We have a laser cut acrylic sheet that will go on top, so it's not a problem. And there we have it. Now it's open. So just do the ends here. Now this thing will be just a nightmare to panel beat back into position. So lift directly up. You don't want to damage anything on the board. And there we have it. It's open. Now we can look underneath the microscope and see what's actually going on. Okay, now we're under the microscope. I always love seeing these structures underneath the microscope. It's quite, it's quite satisfying, I say. So here we have obviously some drivers, microcontroller. You can see the memory on there. So that's flash memory. That could be memory as well. Looks like a diode. There's no MOSFETs or single MOSFETs. Oh, here we go. It's quite beautiful, aren't they? Okay, but what we're here for is actually to see some intermittent wire connections for this ECU. So I'll grab some tweezers. I'll just clean them up. Now, do note if you touch anything else on this board, bar the wire bonds, it will destroy the board. So what I'm going to do is actually look at the PCB board this way, and I should be able to see initially a break. If I don't, that's fine. I'll keep looking and see if I can find anything. So just squiz along here. Nothing really. It's fine. Could be on the other side, so let's have a look. Not seeing anything. That's cool. So now what we're going to do is to pull on every bond here and actually see if we have a failure. So this is your power supply side, this is high current switching. So these will be for the coils or injectors. I'm going to say probably the injectors, so it will be driven off directly. Let's check these. Good, 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 and good. Okay, so these are all okay. So now I'm going to move forward and check the other bonds. I'm going to be methodical in seeing how I do this. So let's have a look. So that's good. 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 These are good. That one just come off. Good. Gentle tug. Nothing too violent. Okay, so those are all good apart from that one. Okay. So that one there's dislodged. Alright, let's check the other side, make sure that these aren't failed also. We'll start on the side. Good. You obviously don't want to do any more damage to the system. Don't want to create more work for yourself. So that will be bad. Okay, so those are all good. So it's only this bond here that appears to be the failure point. Now, as I repair this one, it's possible that other ones will go at the same time. But I might actually just see where this bond actually connects to, because I won't be able to make a very good reliable connection at that point of fracture. So I'll just get my probes onto my meter here in continuity mode, and it should go to a bypass cap along this series. So it's obviously an input range. Actually, yeah, it should be an input. So here, okay. So if we probe here, we should find the cap that's associated with that bond. Famous last words, though. We should have found it by now. So I'll just recheck that I made a good connection there. Let's try that again. Well, that's slightly unfortunate, isn't it? So it doesn't go to a bypass cap. That's a bit of a shitty time. So we have to repair onto that point of the board. Okay, that makes it a little bit difficult. That's fine. Okay, so what I'll need to do now is clean my tweezers. I'll use sharp-ended point tweezers. Okay, and I'll use two scalpels out. I'll just change the blades on the scalpels as well. Remember that any rework that you're dealing with any silicon matter, and then you're going to slice and dice and cut away, you do need new scalpel blades for that, just so you can really efficiently cut through that, because a miss may lead to damage onto the board. You don't want that, because that's extra work that you have to do. So just change out my blades here. Okay, let's have a look here, see what we have. I'll move up this bond all the way up. Actually, I wonder if I could pin that out. Nah, fuck it, too hard. Okay, we need a slice around this area. Remembering that if you touch anything else on the PCB board, if you drop your tool, drop your tweezers, accidentally touch anything else, you would completely destroy the board. And it won't be recoverable, and you won't be able to get a repair. So don't touch anything else. Okay, so we've got our little pocket in here. See if I can yank some of this out. Okay. Now the shitty thing is we need this absolutely clean to adhere any solder on it whatsoever. There we go. So we've now lifted that portion of the silicon up. And we should be able to get a decent connection off that point there. That looks good. Okay, with the iron on a low temperature, because this is silver paste, so I'll just turn both my irons on here. I'll grab a scratching tool just to scratch away some of the oxide. Okay, both irons are ready now. Oh, one more to go, sorry. There we go, the other one's ready. Just grab the iron that's at the lowest temperature. I'll grab some flux and some fine solder. Just inject down a little bit of flux. Okay. And I'll try and get some solder to tack onto that point there. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we've successfully got that to tack on. That's a really secure bond there. And now what we need to do is use aluminium solder to create a joint on this side. So I'll just put my iron down, and we need to clear up this area here to make a successful repair. So I'll just grab my scalpel blade and I'll just angle it so I can actually see what's going on. And I'll just dice through this section here. So dice, dice. See if I can cut through that point there. Then using my tweezers just to disengage this bond here. So we've got that off. off now. And now I'll proceed to go through and scoop up the rest. Take a note that you won't be able to obviously solder on to this point at all if any of that silicon is present. So we need to remove all of it. Getting good access to this pin right here now. Okay. So now that I have that pin exposed now, I'll need to grab my scalpel blade and pick away and make that area rough. The reason why I need it rough is that the solder won't stick to a smooth surface, so I do have to have some roughing going on without covering it with the silicone. Okay, so if I make it rough, it's got a penetrative point where the solder can bite into the pin or the substrate, and then we can have a reliable connection from this point. We're really lucky that there's nothing behind us here, and we can have really good motion, freedom motion of our scalpel blade. If I just zoom in slightly here, you can really get a good idea of what's going on. So we're just scoring. It's like sanding away at some paint where we're going to prep it and prime it. So we're just scraping away here, making a really good bond for the future. So it will never lose stick and just fall off. This is where the part here that would come across. Okay, so now that I've got a really good score point there, I'll just change my tip on the iron to suit what I'm going to use. A flat blade. I'm going to use one of the hotter irons for this, obviously, so we're not dealing with a delicate silk screening. And I'll grab some appropriate solder that has that's aluminium. Okay, so the iron's up to temperature now. I'll just dress the tip so we get maximum thermal conductivity through the tip. Okay, that looks good. This is the most important part of having a successful repair for longevity. So we need to go down, heat, apply our solder. Remove our solder balls here. And inspect the other side, make sure we haven't damaged that point. We haven't, so that's good. I see here we've got really good root penetration on this joint here. so that's good. You can actually use, if you want to make it more nicer and shinier, you can use leaded. So I'm going to use a lower melting point iron here. I'm going to add in some leaded solder, so you can mix the alloys up, it's not a problem. That'll make it easier to actually solder on our repair bond. So that ball is now floating on top of the root, the one that's got a root penetration. So if you try and move that, it shouldn't come off. So it's firmly on there, not going anywhere. Okay. So we should clean up this area here, where we've tacked on some solder onto the connection point that's on the board. Just remove some of the fluxes there. Use a little bit of compressed air to blow away some of the excess. Okay, so now we have that prepped. This is ready now to add our replacement bonds. So what I'm going to do here now is grab some wire wrapping wire. I'm going to remove the insulation from our wire. So this is my wire here, got green insulation. So I use this for track damage repairs on ECUs too. And coat it in flux and then tin the entirety of the wire. Shove the wire directly up the nozzle, the needle, sorry, of my flux, so it gives a really nice even coat without wasting any flux. Use my lower temp shine just to coat that, and then that should be ready for insertion. Okay, so I'll just position our replacement wiring on here, and I'll let that solidify on top. So we've got a little bit poking out there. Okay. Now, I would ideally like to have another connection point where I can go, but this should be a reliable connection anyway. So I'm now going to cut a piece down here. Should be long enough. And obviously we need to make a loop so it's got strain relief internally. So if I have it going directly across, it's going to just fracture the first bump that they go over. So I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to make a little crevice in here so the solder can flow down. Like so. And move that over. So I'm going to make a little well that I can attach a little bit of solder inside of that. Grab my iron again, and I'll just make a nice well inside of that. There we go. So that's a beautiful well. And now I can just push this part down and solder it in place. with any luck. So I'll maneuver this point. Got some silicon on the tweezers, doesn't help. So I'll move this part over a little bit so it's straight, and then angle it down so it's on the repair. It's on the bulb of that solder. And now I can just melt them both together, and it should create a reliable connection between both. Here we go. And there we have it. There's our connection between both of them with the strain and relief. So if I have a look on the side here, we've got a really good connection there, nice fillet, and a good connection there. Excellent. So now what I'll do is I'll just make sure that we don't have any other bonds that we're about to go, and we'll do the same process again for however long it is. So I'll just adjust my microscope here. They look pretty good. I wonder if it was just one. Does look like it was only one bond that was an issue, so that's fine. Okay, that looks fantastic. Sweet. I'll just double check my work and go on to the next stage. Okay, so now the time has come to reseal the ECU. So I have these laser cut acrylic sheets that fit perfectly onto the back side, because there's no point in panel beating these ones together again. So I've got these ones made up. Good friend Bernie that has a laser cutter. These for me. Just break the seal. Oh, that sounds so good. Just small things in life, eh? It just sounds beautiful. Now, obviously, these have an orientation, so it goes that way. And now I need to use a syringe filled with silicone to do the finer details, but this takes a little bit of silicone, so I'm going to just use a chalking gun just around the basic areas. This is a Sully's short gun, so they have an amazing amount of control over it. And it doesn't keep flowing after you've finished depressing, so it's quite a good chalking gun. Okay, so now we're ready to reseal this on. Should have put gloves on, but whatever. Okay. Now I can paper towel handy. Just finish off the edges here. With my syringe I can repair the gaps. It's just a aesthetics thing now, just to make it look beautiful. So we did damage the casing just a smidge there. That's fine. And just on the top here, just run finger across there. Okay, that looks good. I'm missing a little bit of silicone in here, so I'll just inject a little bit in here to fill that gap. There we go. Got a bit of a gap here too, so we'll just grab our silicone and just fill that in. Fill this portion in as well. It's very messy. I suppose I could make it a lot less messy by wearing gloves, but yeah, whatever. Just so we have no sharp edges there. So our technician installing this may cut themselves on the sharp edges. And there we have it. A repaired Holden Astra, Vectra, or VZ Commodore ECU. They're all the same. They're all in the same sort of configuration. These Astra ones only really need to have the plates put on them, but the other ones can be just glued back down. You don't have to saw into them. You can actually just lift them up. But these are the ones that you need to obviously do some cutting and sawing and shit like that. But that's fine. Okay. Thanks for watching.